Now, we've teamed up with Ulster Bank, the proud sponsor of the GA Football Championship, to give you the chance to win a fantastic trip for two to experience the sights and sounds of New York City, combined with the passion and pride of the GA Football Championship. This great prize includes return flights, 4 nights accommodation in a 4-star Manhattan hotel and 2 tickets to see New York's first GA Football Championship game of the season next May. To top it all off, we'll give you $5,000 spending money as well. So it's a great prize. For your chance to win it, answer this question. Which of these well-known GA grounds is located in New York? Is it Gaelic Park, Semple Stadium or Croke Park? If you know the answer, call 1515 71 71 74 or text the word football followed by your answer and name to 57111. Viewers in Northern Ireland can call the number on screen. You must be over 18 to enter. Full details are on RTE Airtel page 195. Lines close at midday on Monday the 20th of September and the lucky winner will be announced on RTE Radio later that evening. All right then, before our hurling final preview, let's recap on the first of the All-Ireland semi-finals in ladies football. It was a repeat of the Leinster final as Dublin took on Laois.
Carlow was the setting for Saturday night's TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Football semi-final between Dublin, last year's beaten finalist, and Laois. Only 6 weeks ago, the sides met in the Leinster final as Dublin prevailed on a scoreline of 2-13-9 to win their 3rd Leinster title in a row. Dublin were back this year looking to get to another final after losing to Cork in last year's All-Ireland decider by just a single point. Laois, though, were much improved since that heavy Leinster final defeat and beat Monaghan in the quarter-finals to set up another clash with the Dubs and were on the scoreboard early through Aileen O'Loughlin. Indeed, Laois added to that tally in what was a low-scoring first half as Shanahoe's Martha Kerwin, winner of an All-Ireland senior title back in 2001, put her side further ahead. Dublin really had to battle hard in the first half to create any kind of scoring opportunity against a well-drilled Laois defence and took some good interplay between Niamh McAvoy and their captain Denise Masterson to create this scoring opportunity for Lindsay Davey, which he took with aplomb. Laois, though, showed some fine build-up play of their own, which involved several of their players, before Grace Weston set up O'Loughlin for her second score of the contest to leave it Laois leading by 4 points to 2 at the break. Laois, though, were hit by a yellow card and a sin bin for Mags McAvoy. But nevertheless, that didn't unduly affect them as Tracy Lawler beautifully set up Noreen Kerwin for this fine score. In fact, Laois seemed well in command in the early part of the second half as Mary Kerwin set up Tracy Lawler and Laois had jumped out to an 8 points to 5 lead. Dublin, though, eased their way back into the contest after going those 3 points in arrears. Sinead Ahern passed to substitute Bernie Finlay and the Nafina player put over what was perhaps the point of the game. Then came the decisive moment of the contest on 52 minutes. Gemma Fay got clear of the Laois half-backs, and although her pass was half-blocked by a defender, Lindsay Davey had the presence to score what turned out to be the only goal of the night. Laois, though, levelled just 3 minutes later. A quick free kick to Mary Kerwin, who played in Gemma O'Connor, who made it 1-6 to 9 points. But it was Dublin who had the last 2 scores, both falling to full forward Sinead Ahern, the All-Star, who put Dublin back into the final. Dublin win on a scoreline of 1-8 to 9 points, a lot closer than many expected, and it's now either Kerry or Tyrone in the decider.
Yeah, no, in fairness to them, they played very well. I mean, obviously the last day they played very well against Monaghan as well. So, we knew it was going to be a tough task, and I think, we stuck at it and it paid off in the end. Obviously, Kerry and Tyrone are 2 excellent teams, so we know that we've a lot of work to do. It wasn't exactly convincing today, so we've got a lot to work on, but, we're delighted that we've got the time to do that.
I'm so disappointed for the girls. They left every ounce they had out there today. We asked them to give 100% at the start of the game. They gave that and they gave more. The determination they had, we went a player down there and I think we tagged on 3 or 4 points, and that will show you the determination and guts that these girls have, So we're very disappointed with the result, but, they can hold their heads up high.
Yeah, they certainly can. And well done to Dublin. They'll now face either Kerry or Tyrone in the final. OK, then it's time to look ahead to the biggest hurling game of 2010.
who are the All-Ireland champions for 2009.
And I'm delighted to welcome Paul Flynn and Pete Finnerty for their views of the game. And Pete, it looks like Henry Shefflin and Tommy Welch are going to be playing for Kilkenny, which is great news for them, I suppose. Will that affect Tipperary in any way?
Not really, no. Tipperary wouldn't be worrying about Henry, whether he's playing or not, because there'll be somebody there equally as good and equally as determined. I think the Henry Shefflin saga has helped Kilkenny in the sense that it's taken the limelight away from the 5 in a row. Henry's a big lad. He's a lot to focus on to try and get right for the final, because his cruciate ligament is torn. That has been confirmed. It's incredible the professionalism of them to get him recovered so quickly. It just shows how professional that camp is run. And to be honest, even in Tuam, a predominant football area where I live, the amount of people that expressed their sorrow at his injury and that he might miss the All-Ireland final, he's held in such regard.
Yeah, he sure is. I suppose it was reflected 8,000 people at training during the week, Paul, in Kilkenny. Fantastic on one level, but does that illustrate to them how much it means and therefore put pressure on the team?
Well, Des, 8,000 people is incredible, you know, for a training session. I often thought of nipping up the road myself, but I don't know whether I'd get away with it or not. But it just shows you like the high regard that the Kilkenny public have for these guys. You know, they've been supporting them, you know, year in, year out. The training matches are legendary down that area. But it's really, you know, I think the biggest roar of the year is when Henry came out onto the pitch. I was talking to a couple of lads who were there, but it's it can be a distracting, I would think, Des, to have 8,000 people watching when you're training.
Yeah, OK. Now, Pete, you've been looking at the stats, and there's one clear message you feel about when Kilkenny win.
Well, when they're at their most dangerous, in the last 11 years, last 11 All-Ireland finals, Kilkenny have been in 9 of them. They've won 7 of them. They've lost 2. The 2 they lost, they didn't score goals. And here we see 2005. It's Aidan Fogarty gets a break here from Eddie Brennan, latches onto it, back at the net, and the next thing we see is Jackie Terrell lifting the cup. The following year, it's the long ball in again that causes all the trouble. Henry catches it and compromises and scores a good goal. And there we have Henry and Master McGarry lifting the cup. Tommy Welch, this time the big long high ball again. Breaking ball. Larkin latches onto it, finds Eddie inside. The result is the same. Shah lifts the cup. Now, last year, with 8 minutes to go, McGrath puts the ball over the bar. Kilkenny are in trouble. No goal scored. Tipperary in total dominance. And then, unfortunately for Tip, this happens. Henry sticks one back of the net. 2 minutes later, legality or no legality, this is a goal. Martin Cumber comes off the bench, didn't get a start, finishes the back of the net. Tip went on and scored 2 points after McGrath scored his last goal. Kilkenny went on and scored 2-4. Right. They have the ability to be able to score goals at crucial times. And it's ironic that they've won 36, 37 or whatever it is All-Ireland titles. They've only won 1 when they didn't score a goal. It's
all
incredible.
right, so the big thing then is Tip have to stop them scoring goals. Will they stop them scoring goals?
Kilkenny will allow you to score more than any other team in the championship. But I can't understand why the managers haven't concentrated on closing them down back to the time the last All-Ireland they lost. They only scored 9 points. 9 points this team in 2004, I think, was lost in All-Ireland and scored. And you had Henry and you had Mark Comfort and all those players playing that time. But Cork had an incredible defence that time. They closed them down, they stopped them from scoring, and they beat them by 5 or 6 points. So I think for Tipperary on Sunday, it's not to worry about what you're going to score. You're going to score a certain amount the other end of the field. It's not to concede goals and not to concede soft scores.
All right. You've been looking at Tipperary, Paul, and you've seen a huge turnaround in their year.
Yeah, people say you learn a lot more from a defeat than you do from a victory, and I think that old saying certainly stands for Tipperary this year. If their play against Cork that day in Páirc Uí Chaoimh in early May showed signs of a team that were kind of, I won't say complacent, but they were certainly expecting maybe to cruise back to the final. They were playing as individuals. They were kind of taking wrong options, and things weren't going well for them. And they didn't have any great leader, but you know, they've obviously worked hard in training, found the best 15 they have. They've worked to a plan, and I think the plan is obviously that the guy in the best position is getting the ball. They're playing as a team this year, or later on in the year. I don't think they get away with this type of hurling next Sunday. You know, that's beautiful score from Noel McGrath. It's a bit loose marking there, but you can see the change of attitude and the change of their demeanour. You know, they're determined there. They're heading for goal, and I think that defeat to Cork was probably the best thing that could have happened to them.
Now, do you think they'll be able to stop Kilkenny scoring goals?
No, I don't think so. I think Kilkenny will certainly get 2 goals. Galway got, I think it was 3 goals against them, and 2 of them are of a very soft nature. I think they have shuffled around the defence a bit too much.
Who's their best fullback?
Their best fullback is probably young Mar, who's playing half-back at the moment. Last year we were talking about him as a future future star fullback, and he went centre forward, and now he's back half-back. He's certainly their best fullback. He's good in the air. I think Satant or Isaki definitely kind of rattled him for a bit, but I think they were a bit brash in moving that. But Paddy Stapleton is playing well in the corner. Paul Kern is a better cornerback than he is fullback.
OK, but you think Kilkenny will get 2 goals, and are they beatable if they get 2 goals?
Kilkenny are obviously beatable, but who's going to do it?
Not that obvious.
No, like every team is beatable. Tip, I don't think Tip are playing as well as they were last year going into the final. So from that point of view, I don't think that they will beat Kilkenny.
And what about you, Pete?
Well, walking down Jones's Road last year, I thought I had seen the end of Kilkenny and that the new team was going to be Tipperary. I thought that Tip were the up-and-coming team and they have served their apprenticeship and they were going to win. They went down to Cork, and to be honest, I thought they were arrogant below in Cork. I thought they didn't give no respect for the championship that was in it, which is the Munster Championship. They played 2 novices, I think, starting off. Now they've learned from that, they've regrouped, they've come back. They're back as strong as they were last year, but Kilkenny are stronger than they were last year. Last year, against Galway, they were 10 points down. Nobody has done that to them this year. Last year against Dublin, they struggled for long times. It was 2 goals was the difference. And against Waterford held them to 5 or 6 points. This year, nobody has hung on to their tail so far. And the big difference is Noel Hickey back full back and JJ out wing back.
All right. And in a word, will Henry Shefflin play?
I think Liam Sheedy is kind of playing games that he hopes he plays. If I was Liam Sheedy, I don't think I'd like to see Henry Shefflin lining out at centre forward. But obviously, it'll be great for Kilkenny if he plays.
But will he, do you think?
His cruciate ligament is partially torn, and the knee will be kind of stable enough, or feel stable, I would imagine. But it's under the pressure of the intense heat of the All-Ireland final. I don't think he'll start. All right. But I think you will see him at some stage.
Dr. Paul Flynn there.
I think he will start.
All right, you think he will start, Peter. All right then. Well, look, that's part of the drama and intrigue of the week. And a reminder about our live coverage next weekend. We're live here on RT2, the Sunday game, live from 12:30. Kilkenny and Tip, of course, in the senior final, and the minor final is Kilkenny against Clare. And at 9:30 next Sunday night, we're going to have a really busy Sunday game highlights programme. The senior final, the minor final will be live at the Winners Hotel. The man of the match will be presented live. We have an audience here in the studio, so lots to look forward to next Sunday, and of course live streaming on RT.ie. That's about it for tonight, so thanks to Paul and to Pete and all of our guests. I'll be back with you at 6:30 on Radio 1 tomorrow night. In the meantime, from all of the team here, have a good week. Bye-bye.